Hey guys, welcome to the INBF Canada Athlete Interview Series, and we're fortunate to have Kari Krystalovich join us, and she's our WNBF figure overall champion from the West Coast Naturals in Vancouver this past year in 2015. So we're really grateful to have Kari on the show today, and we're going to dig in deep with Kari and find out a little bit about her backstory, her life as far as where she came from, and also how she trains and eats and prepares for a competition. So, Kari, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a very exciting opportunity.
Awesome. So, what's the weather like over in Vancouver today? Right now, it's kind of chilly in Montreal.
It's not too bad. It's been a little bit odd. We had some hail this morning, actually, so a little bit of a surprise there. But it's not raining, which is good.
Awesome.
Sun's trying to come out. Might be an okay day. So it was a beautiful day yesterday as well. So spring's trying to come. So.
That's awesome, Kari. So tell us a bit about yourself, Kari. Like, obviously, I just learned before we started this interview that you're also Ukrainian. And
Yes.
we were kind of joking about the healthy Ukrainian food that is part of that culture. And it's not the best pre-contest food. But tell us a bit about yourself.
I am 32, and I've been competing with the INBF for 2 years, and I've been bodybuilding for 4 years now. Well, this is my fourth year of doing competitions, and I absolutely love it. I grew up in the gym probably since I was about 14, 15 years old. I did varsity track and field through university, and that was always my main focus. And then always into bodybuilding and being fit and healthy. And then I sort of got redirected into the competition area of things, and it's been great. I've learned a lot. So
Awesome. Now, how do you know Christian?
Christian?
Yes, Christian Kwan with the INBF. Like, did you meet her before the show for the INBF West Coast Naturals?
I met her. The INBF Naturals always has a prep camp in Vancouver about 2 months before the show. So that's when I first met her. I was in contact with her a little bit through email, and then met her at the first prep camp. And she's great. She organizes everything so well, and she's so helpful. Any questions, anything, she really helps you through the whole process. So, and I've done both of the prep camps for both of the Vancouver shows now, just grabbing every little bit of information that I can.
That's awesome, and you obviously you did the INBF West Coast Naturals the year before that, and then this past year when you won the class and won the pro card. How experience, and kind of share with us what that experience was like, going from those 2 years and then the last year winning the pro card, and knowing now that you can go to the WNBF level and compete as a pro figure.
Well, my first year when I did the Vancouver show, I placed second in figure, and it was a taste of how close I actually was, and I realized how competitive, like how high in the competition I was, and that it's actually possible to reach what I wanted to do. Always wanted to have my pro card and be able to have that title attached to my name, which is just feels great to be. Yep, I'm a WNBF pro now. And so the first year I did it made me realize, wow, I can work really hard all year and come again next year, and it's a reachable dream. And it was just amazing, the whole process. The whole coming onto the stage that day, and everything was actually really relaxed and just flowed great. And then that moment before going on to stage with the final awards given out was just kind of breathing and taking everything in, that this it's here. Everything I've worked for 2 years now for is about to happen. So it was just a really surreal experience.
That's awesome, Kari. So what is, obviously when you turn pro and then you're thinking of what things are going to be happening for you down the road, do you have any ideas or plans or visions of when you'll be competing in a pro show coming up?
I'm actually competing in just under 7 weeks. I'm going to Savannah, Georgia, to the Iron Eagle
Nice.
pro show. So tickets are booked and I'm all registered. So that's the plan. Countdown is on, and I've been prepping hard for that.
That's awesome. So you're gonna go see Rodney.
Yeah, so I've been in contact with Rodney quite a bit, and yeah, I've got a little bit of family and friends that are going to join me down there, and we're going to, experience Savannah a little bit while we're there as well. So.
Good for you guys. You're in for a treat because Rodney's he's iconic in our INBF Canada. He's been with us from the very beginning. So he was also head judging, I believe, your last competition, right?
The past 2 years, actually. So I met him two years ago at the first Vancouver show that I did. And I was in contact with him a little bit just for feedback for the judging and ways to improve for, the following competitions. And I had, he had a little bit of an offer, if anybody that wants to, from the show that wants to come down, I'll make sure I, set you up and everything works out well. And it's, good timing, and I'm ready to jump on the pro stage and see what it's all about.
That's awesome with Team Canada.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of us girls going down from Canada, so it should be quite. Yeah, I have not met yet, but I think a few girls from Alberta are going down, so it will be very exciting.
That's awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing all your photos on Facebook and what happens, on the course of that weekend.
Thank you. Yes, it's coming up quick, creeping right up.
Totally. So when you're prepping for a competition, Kari, can you give us an idea of, from a training perspective, do things change for you in the off season to a pre-contest season, or how does that look for you?
They do. In the off season, I'm really cutting my cardio down a lot to try to add as much size and muscle mass as I can. I burn calories, and my metabolism is very fast, and I really enjoy running. So those are things that I have to stay away from in my off season. Otherwise, I can't hold on to and build the size that I want. So that's, I spent all of my off season, quite a few months through the fall and winter, just making sure that I'm, eating, and training and lifting hard and not doing too much.
Okay. Awesome. And then from a eating perspective, do you do things on your own, Kari, or do you have a coach helping you?
The first 2 years of my competitions, I did everything on my own. So I actually learned a lot. I did lots of research online and reading people's stories and blogs and different advice. And it's hard to know what's going to work for you and what's not. So it's a little bit of a gamble. You have to, take in everybody's advice and try different methods that you agree with. And it was a good process. I learned a lot about my body, but all the stress is on you, and I had to make the right decisions. So the last 2 years, now I've had a coach help me. He helps me for the prep for the show. So I do the off-season work on my own, and then when I'm prepping for the show, I train with him once a week, and he's there for all support for diet decisions and training decisions, and it's great. It takes a little bit of a load off my shoulders and lets me breathe and focus on the training part, and not the no mental stress added.
That's awesome. So your coach, is he someone that you have physically in contact or online?
Physically, actually. I live on the Sunshine Coast in Gibson, which is a ferry ride away from Vancouver. It's about a 45-minute ferry ride, and I conveniently work over there a little bit as well at a personal training studio. So I combine it with days that I work, and I usually see him once a week. He trains out of Coquitlam, and I go train with him at a gym there, and we do posing and sit down, and then we do everything else, just connecting online.
That's awesome. What do you find the difference from doing it on your own from having a coach? Do you find a significant difference in that?
I find a very significant difference in stress levels.
Okay.
Mental, being able to just enjoy the process a lot more and not worry about making the decisions and whether or not it's too early or not, too late, or how hard I should be working cardio-wise and cutting my diet. And he gets to see it from an outside perspective, and he sees me about once a week, so he sees the changes happening, not by seeing me every day. And he gets to make those decisions and takes that load off my shoulders for sure.
That's awesome. So when it comes to like, does he take care of your nutrition areas as well, Kari, or just the training, or all together?
During my prep, he takes care of everything altogether.
Okay.
And then in my off season, I take care of the training and my nutrition.
That's awesome.
And if the show is local, like the Vancouver show just this last year, the first Vancouver show I did all on my own, and then he helped me with the show last year. And he comes to the show as well if he's able, if it's a local show, and then is able to support me through the whole process.
That's awesome. Nice stuff. Cool. So with that whole process, with working with him, and then obviously like getting close to your show, do you have any specific strategies, Kari, that you use or that you implement maybe like the week before the competition or 2 weeks before the competition that help you really become your best?
Just sticking to the plan is, not worrying about, things will happen and they flow and they all work out, and not to let myself get stressed out and follow the plan and trust the process is basically, anytime I feel worried or anything, I just have to remember to trust the process. It will all happen and fall into place.
Awesome. So kind of looking over your fitness journey, it's been 4 years, correct? Your fitness journey? Awesome. So with 4 years, Kari, like what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned or a takeaway you've learned in this whole journey so far?
Biggest lesson would be probably not to overtrain.
Yeah.
Just to, enjoy the process, not to, let this stress you out or become work. Just enjoy the entire thing, and train effectively so that you don't have to spend too much time in the gym and doing stressing over food and prepping everything. And if you prep and prepare, you have the time to enjoy life and friends and family and everything all at the same time.
That's awesome. So you mentioned you work at a personal training studio.
I do, yeah. My sister, actually, she's very into fitness as well. And she owns a studio in South Granville. Crystal Fit Studio is the name. It's a power plate studio. So it's all training on a vibration plate. So we do half-hour sessions, one-on-one. And so me and her work there together. And it's a lot of fun.
Nice. So do you actually personal train then, Kari? Is that one of the things that you do as part of your occupation?
Yes, I do. So when in the future, when I'm not spending as much time competing, I want to be able to help people do the same, just achieve fitness goals, or if it's competitions, all sorts of, fitness.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Now from that perspective, like your sister, she also does she own the studio, but does she also personal train as well?
Yeah, she does. She owns it and she runs it majority of the week, and I help her a couple of days a week. We have 2 rooms side by side, so we can have 2 clients going all at the same time. It's one-on-one, and it's a sister team, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Awesome.
So going into your journey of nutrition, and like basically how you're preparing, a lot of girls, when they're starting out with a competition, they obviously have these fears that come up. Things like, will it be too difficult to do? Will my water be cut out? Will I be on a really low caloric diet? When you prepare for a competition, do you find, are you on a very, very low caloric diet, or is it pretty balanced in your approach? Like, how do you kind of come with those approaches?
Mine is very balanced. I really don't count calories and macros. I just I pay attention to the amount of carbs that I'm taking in. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm doing some carb cycling for my diet, for my prep.
Okay.
So a low carb and a medium and a high carb, and just cycling through. So vegetables and protein, I'm making sure, it's very lean, and I can have as many vegetables as I want. And as long as I'm eating the right things, I'm not eating anything, everything's natural, and I'm cooking it myself and knowing what's put into everything. I just want to enjoy, the food that I'm eating and not be eating it because it's a number.
So true. I love it. I love what you're saying. That's so true. And it's almost like that feeling of when you're competing. It doesn't seem like it's almost like how do I say, not just work, but it's also fun and play. There's a lifestyle approach to it, right? And one that you want to continue to do again.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of the stuff that I've learned through the competitions, I will use in the future every day. Just so many recipes that are great and healthy that you can, and everybody loves them when they try them, and they just don't understand. Wow, this is how you get to eat all the time. Yes, it's delicious. It's enjoyable. It's great.
That's awesome. So what do you think, like from a first-time athlete coming into competing, like so, for example, the female demographic, and they're thinking of doing a competition, what sort of tip or lesson like would you suggest these girls when they first start a competition journey?
I would really make sure that you're confident with your self-image. Last thing you want to do is be changing the shape and size of yourself and not be confident just with the body that you have, and never being afraid of getting strong. You just want to get as strong as you can, and mentally and physically, and you need to be strong to push yourself through the competitions.
That's awesome. Did you find the posing classes really help you, Kari, with your presentation and so forth?
They do. You have to practice a lot in the mirror and just make sure that you're hitting those poses all the time. And the way I've watched myself through different competitions, and then as soon as I see one compared to the next, I see an improvement every year, and I can still improve all the time on it. It's something you need to spend a lot of time on, definitely, and present. You can put so much work into your body and your muscle and shaping yourself an appropriate way. And if you don't present it properly, you're never going to get the reward for it.
That's so true. I love it. So now you have a boyfriend, correct?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. So how do you balance a relationship with competing and like even having some of a kind of a social life? How do you work that together?
The relationship is a breeze. There's that balance is perfect. He's very into fitness as well, and he's really supportive of everything that I do, helps me with food prep and encourages me. And if I'm tired and you got it, you've got Georgia, you got to get there, you got to put the work in. The social aspect, I find I spend a lot of time between work and the gym and training. I like to make sure I get a good rest and sleep. So I'm not spending late nights out a lot, but my friends all understand what I do, and they're so supportive of it, and it flows quite well.
Love it. So now, does he also lift weights in as well, Kari, and compete?
Yes.
Or
he doesn't compete, but he lifts weights as well and is in the gym all the time.
Do you guys train together?
We do. Well, on days off we do. So
okay,
he works long days, and then our schedules are different during the week a little bit. But as soon as there's a day off, we're in there together, and it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So your circle of influence, like the people around you, like obviously you have your boyfriend that's very supportive. Do you have a circle of influence around you that helps support you in your journey besides your coach and your boyfriend?
Yeah, all growing up, like my sister is very into fitness and she's very supportive. And I have a best friend that she loves learning everything she can learn from me. So she's joining me through my training a lot and just, wants to learn everything she can, and it's really enjoyable. So I always have someone to train with. And my mother growing up was a fitness instructor as well, so she's really supportive of the journey. And
that's awesome.
They join me, they support me at all my shows, and they're going to come down to Georgia as well. And it's great to have the support.
You guys are going to have a great time in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to sample a little bit of Southern barbecue after the show as well.
Yeah, there's some good food over there. You'll have to work on your Southern draw.
Yeah, exactly.
I went down there one time when I was competing on my first pro show was with Rodney as well, and I noticed that Rodney doesn't have as much of a southern draw, but there's definitely some southern draw down there, and it's fun. It's that culture aspect, right? It's almost like our A in Canadian.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm quite excited. I've never been down to that area at all, so it should be in for a treat.
That's awesome. So, are you planning, like, after you do Rodney's show, is your plan to do another show down the road in the near future, or what sort of your plans there?
I haven't made that decision yet, so I'm going to do the pro show. It's March 26th in Georgia,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna see what happens from there. I know there's some good shows coming up throughout the year. In the summer, there's in California. I know there's a good show, and then there's the Worlds in the fall, and so there's lots of options out there. So I think I'm just going to focus on Georgia, and then after that, I can decide on the next step.
Awesome. Just so you know, I'm not sure if you heard this or not, Kari, but the World's actually, for the first time ever, is going to be in LA.
Okay, I think I did see a feed somewhere about it, so which is really exciting.
We're actually doing there'll be a Muscle Beach shoot afterwards, like
Okay.
on Muscle Beach in Venice. It's going
Yeah,
to be kind of cool because it's like the mecca of bodybuilding, right?
so that's really neat that the WNBF gets to go there and experience, have that exposure and that experience.
You'll have to tell your boyfriend to get himself in like epic shape, and then you guys can
Yeah,
have like a couple's little photo shoot on Muscle Beach.
yeah, he's been working hard. Even he's like, just for Georgia, he's like, well, if I'm going to go down there, with a pro, I've got to look like. So.
That's awesome. I love it. So in your whole journey of fitness, I want to kind of ask you a little bit of a different question just to see, in your whole journey, what's been one of the biggest challenges that you've had to face with, coming from a lifestyle that wasn't probably, in the competition arena to where it is now. What's a challenge you had to overcome and work with in that journey?
There's a lot of sports that I really like to play. I'm really into baseball and really into snowboarding, and I like to be really social as well. So I've really had to change that aspect a lot and not worry about making other people happy and going, to their events and just focusing on me and what I need to do for what my goals are. And with the sports, I've had to really kind of take back the level that I put into it just to make sure that I don't risk injury or anything. For the training is very important. I need to be healthy and to make sure I'm able to train 100% leading up to a show.
That's awesome. So you kind of channeled your sports energy into your fitness and lifting weights energy, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That's
And I've
awesome.
also learn how to train quite differently. I used to, I've always trained, but just trained to be fit and really taking in the judging criteria and the shape and presentation and really channeling my training into developing my body into those judging guidelines.
Love it. That's awesome. So what do you think is one of the most fun things for you when you compete? Like, what's something that you just really enjoy about the whole journey and the whole process?
Um, the process, once you get to about peak week and that it doesn't matter what you do now, it matters what you do for the peak week, but the hard work's done, you're in the home stretch and you just get to enjoy it, and then just getting to get all dolled up, and the suits are beautiful that you get to wear, and then just have all eyes on you and see all the hard work that you've put in. It's your time to show everything that you've worked so hard for, and you get that one moment on stage, which is it's just really surreal and awesome feeling.
Love it. What about your long-term vision for Kari? Like when you look at Kari, like 3 to 5 years from now, what would be one of your dreams?
One of my dreams would be to be able to train other people to go through this experience themselves and spend a lot more time and work, every day just training and helping people with their fitness goals.
Love it. And I want to ask you a quick question too, Kari. This actually question came in from one of our attendees. Is from your own expertise and knowledge in the whole industry, can an athlete gain muscle and lose body fat at the same time?
That's always a big, a big dilemma out there. Some people say it's impossible. I believe it's 100% possible. I've had many personal experiences while prepping for a show, and you don't really, you get a little bit stressed out watching the scale. You're supposed to be losing weight and cutting down, and you have to learn not to look at the scale and not to let that be your focus. And if you're seeing changes in your body, then you're losing the fat. And so many times this has happened to me where I'm seeing changes, I'm leaning out visually, and the scale never moves. And so I believe that, I'm not by any chance losing muscle, and I'm even gaining still at this point.
Awesome. That's a great answer. And, I agree with you 100%, Kari, as far as that process and, as far as being able to do both at the same time. And, and if it sounds like your preparation methods are really good. And that obviously plays a big factor, right, in how a person can gain muscle or, lose body fat.
If you're, on too low of a calorie diet, of course you're going to lose muscle and body fat, and you're not going to gain any muscle. But if you're balanced nicely, your body's effectively going to burn that fat, and there's no reason why you're still not going to build while you're lifting at the same time.
That is so true. I love it. So is your boyfriend going to compete one day?
I'm not sure. He sees the hard work that's involved. So
you'll have to buy him one of those posing trunks and say, "Hey, this is for Christmas for you." One day you'll have to bring him on. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, as far as your competing journey, like, are you looking down the road a year or two? Are you visioning going to the World Championships and competing there?
It's definitely been in the back of my mind as an option, and it's a very consuming sport, 100%. And I do have a few other personal life goals I'd like to achieve as well. So I have to sort of find a balance in how many years I'll continue to compete for. And so I'm going to, just take one step at a time and see how Georgia goes and experience that. And then I'll make the next decision after that.
That's awesome. Now, what about like as far as you mentioned about cardio, because cardio you said you don't do in the off season, but you do cardio in the pre-contest?
Yeah, I do very minimal in the off season, and enough that I just keep my heart rate up and a good warm up and a little bit after. But it's usually a warm up in 10-15 minutes after. Nothing excessive really, and just if I want to go out and do cardio on my rest days, like an active cardio, hikes and such. But I'm not doing intervals by any chance, and no morning cardio, and mainly just putting all my energy and focus into lifting. And then, before a contest, I definitely start adding quite a bit of cardio.
Awesome. If there was one thing that you really feel would benefit you, maybe from a challenge that you face when you're in the contest prep mode, but if there's one thing, whether it's trying to be more productive, or maybe it's learning to organize your time better, or being better at goal setting or visualization, what technique would you really like to learn more about as an athlete competing for a competition?
I think the goal setting is very important. Mm-hmm. And I writing it down so that have it set in stone would be something I should spend more time doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm through the prep and time management, I find I do it, trying to put more of my time into the training and not work more than I, try to find an equal balance between everything so that I have time to have a little bit of relaxation time in there as well. And
awesome. Good stuff. And then what about when you're in a contest phase and say you get the sniffles? or say you get the flu, or say you get a little bit under the weather, do you tend to, as a competitor, work through that and still go to the gym and train, or do you take that necessary day off to recover? What do you do?
I will definitely take that day off to recover. If it's something really minimal and I can just turn that day into, get some mobility work, some good stretching, nothing that's going to stress my body. If I have the energy to do that, I will choose to do that. But if you push yourself, you're already training so hard and expending your body. And if you're not feeling well, you just need to listen to your body and give it the rest. And then you're going to just start back with more energy once you're feeling better.
I love that answer. That's a great answer, Kari. I love it. Such a good answer. So with that being said, Kari, is there anything else before we end our interview today? I really enjoyed this whole process because it was a good opportunity for us to actually connect, and as opposed to when you're at an event, there's just so much going on, right?
Yeah, and so many people, it's hard to meet and personally get to know anyone.
Exactly, and this way we get a chance to at least have that, even though it isn't a physical meeting of some kind. At least we get a chance to. This technology now is it's unbelievable what we can do.
Yes, definitely.
Is there anything you want to add to the rest of our interview, Kari, that we feel that we missed that you want to mention?
We've covered a lot, definitely. I just want to, I think that the INBF is an amazing organization. I've competed in different organizations before the INBF, and when I found the INBF, it was like I found home. This is the spot where I belong, and everybody's so supportive and helpful. And I'm really about, eating real food and natural food and finding everything you can get from the food. And I've been in some experiences where I've seen girls, taking different supplements and stuff, and it quite scared me. And like, wow, like that's what you're doing to be where you are. And it's nothing that I've ever been interested in doing to my body or been supportive of in any way. So it was really nice to find an organization that is so supportive of a great, healthy approach to competing and bodybuilding, and it's been nothing but enjoyable ever since.
Thank you so much, Kari. That was so nice of you to say that, and just to hear it from you and authentically what you just said is exactly what we want to do, and what our whole mission is, is really helping change and improve lifestyles in the natural way, right? And have that platform.
Exactly. You don't have to, make it work in numbers. It can be enjoyable, all about, just doing things naturally and eating, real food and healthy food and making the good choices, listening to your body, and all about mind-body connection. If you focus on what you want to do, and your body's going to listen to your mind, and then it's all going to work out.
That is so true. I love it. And I want to thank you too, Kari, for everything that you have done with us for the last couple of years. Coming to our prep camps, competing, now winning your pro card, and just supporting Christian so much. And I know she greatly appreciates it. I greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward. Are you going to be at the show in May, by the way?
Yeah, actually, I was looking. I've noticed the date. It's a little bit earlier than usual, and that's what I thought I should be in contact with Christian and make sure that I'm there to help out as much as I can. Since I won't be competing this year and it's very close to home for me, I might as well be there to support.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you because I'll be at the show this year. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to actually physically see you, not on, because when you're on stage and competing, it's more of a conversation we can enjoy as opposed to, your mind's on the show, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I've never gotten to go to one of the shows and not been a competitor. So it'll be really neat to just get to, see everyone and then support everybody that's, doing it for the first time and helping them through and just let them and, breathe and enjoy what they're going to do. And it'll just be a great time for sure.
That's awesome. We'll definitely, I was going to say, we're not going to go for Ukrainian food, by the way. I'll be going on the plane like 5 pounds heavier. But that's awesome. So I'm really grateful that we had this chance, Kari. And what we'll do is let's just have a quick chat before we. I'm going to end this interview, so we'll kind of close things off. So, guys, I want to say thank you to Kari Krystalovich, right? Krystalovich.
Krystalovich.
Thank you so much. I always have these little my tongue gets mixed sometimes when I have long words to say, so I do apologize for my improper words there. So it was awesome to have you, Kari, and good luck with Rodney's show. I'm sure it's gonna be an amazing competition.
Thank you very much, Matt.
No problem. There you guys have Kari, WNBF Pro figure competitor, heading over to the Iron Eagle Classic, and we're hoping to see her at Worlds in LA. We'll have to see what her schedule permits to. But there you guys have it. Please check this interview out, guys. It'll be on YouTube, on our INBF Canada fan page. Share it with your friends, and please go to INBFCanada.com as well to learn more about INBF. So, guys, have a great day, and stay natural, and have an amazing rest of your week. Awesome, guys. We're actually going to come back into this interview, and the reason I'm going to is because we're digging into Kari, or we're learning more about Kari, and it's quite fascinating, actually. And we just kind of were chatting about visualization and mindset, and just want to bring on the recording. So bear with us, guys, and enjoy some of the things we're going to talk about, and just have fun and relax. Like, we were just joking about the Super Bowl before we got on here, and who's going to win. And I'm just, Kari and I didn't really have a choice of pick. In fact, I don't care who wins, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go for the veggie platter too. So
all I care is that I have some snacks that I can eat.
Exactly. So you mentioned visualization, Kari. I'm just curious, what's kind of helped you with that process in that?
I find that competing has made a huge difference. And actually the coach that I train with, his name is JP Cross. He's really helpful and great with the visualization, and just to imagine myself like on stage in my moment, in my heels, doing that walk and presenting myself, and just to even in the whole prep weeks before, just visualizing that's where I am, this is what I've done, and so that I replay that process over and over and over in my head. And so when it comes down to that actual time, I've been there, I've done that. It's not a first experience or anything. It's what I've planned for the entire time.
Do you mind kind of, like, even if we step back for 1 second, and if you don't feel comfortable sharing, just let me know. But in regards to a previous relationship that you were in that you felt really didn't serve you, obviously for your goals and where you were going, because some people watching this probably are going through similar things, right? And a lot of guys or girls, right? So I guess when you move to a new relationship that was probably much more serving, towards your values, your core values, and you, what was sort of happening in that process that really, I guess, in changing, from this person to that person? I know it kind of sounds direct, but kind of feel free to answer how you feel best suits your heart with that question.
I mean, right now, the relationship that I'm in does nothing but make the process and the competing easy.
Awesome.
The support that I have, family, friends, and through the relationship, it's great, and it's, every day is easy, and there's no stress from any of that added at all. And yeah, I've been in a previous relationship which I was spending too much time involved in the competing, or involved in the process, and the food and the diet and the training, and this is what I wanted for me, and I wanted my progress. I wanted to compete and fight and change myself from each year to better and better, compete against myself, and it didn't manage well time wise and social wise, and so I put myself in a place where I want this, and this is my goal, and that's what I'm going to work towards. And if you don't want to support me and my goals, then it's just not going to work. So.
Good for you, Kari. That is awesome. Like, thank you for saying that. I know, those things can be sensitive to talk about, right? But I think a lot of people deal with it, right?
Yeah, I spent the show I did last year where I won. I actually spent a lot of time by myself for that. Just, this is what I want, and I'm not gonna, have any feelings or different relationships or anything change that. So I'm going to put my energy into me, my energy into a good focused mental mindset, and flow through the motions of the next show. And that's where I wanted all my energy going. I didn't want energy going to, anything else or any stress, and just one path, just, towards getting me where I wanted to be and achieve that goal.
That is so awesome. What about your friendship circle, Carrie? Like, has your friendship circle changed much since you've been competing?
Actually, no. It's my close friends. They've been there since day one. Have come to all my competitions that I've been in, and some of them have joined me a little bit more in the gym, which is great because I get to see them even more. And they're really, really supportive, and I don't get to spend as much time when I'm close to a show in the prepping. They understand that in 7 weeks I'll see you. We'll see you a little bit more. Maybe we can have a glass of wine together. Not maybe we will have a glass of wine.
Don't forget the veggie platter.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm really able to be okay with this is my choice and this is what I want to do, and so I don't let any of the outside influences make me feel bad. Oh, I don't want to be around you if you're eating that, or if you're going out. Like I'll go out and enjoy and just have my water or my veggie platter.
Yeah, totally. Eh?
And, yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool. And so I'm kind of curious because I'm part Ukrainian, so I just want to ask these questions because I'm just curious. So, like you said, your mom's side is Ukrainian?
My dad's side is Ukrainian.
Okay, so your mom's side is Polish?
My mom's side is Finnish.
Finnish.
Yeah.
I never heard of Finnish. What?
Finland.
Oh, Finland. Thank you. I was completely lost. I was like, I never heard of that. Okay. Okay, so Finland. You're half Finland. You're half Ukrainian.
Yeah.
So which food is better, Ukrainian or Finland food?
Definitely Ukrainian. Well, my boyfriend is also Ukrainian, which works out very convenient, and he has grandparents that live not far from us, and his grandmother's an amazing Ukrainian cook. So I get to enjoy a lot of the Ukrainian food.
I got to ask you, what's your favorite kind? Because, oh man, Ukrainian food is so good.
I'd have to say pierogies, definitely.
Yeah, totally.
Cabbage rolls, I'm a really big fan of cabbage rolls, but the pierogies, I can never say no.
Totally. It's like all the different kinds. I should probably stop talking because you're in prep mode.
I avoid gluten a lot as well. And then, of course, the pierogies are full of the flour and the gluten. And it's one of those things that, it doesn't matter. I'm going to eat them and enjoy them after I eat them.
That's the day in the off season where you decide to go do cardio afterwards, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like to bank it, actually. Like if I can do, I'll go for a good long cardio session, then I feel okay. Now I'm allowed to go eat this big meal and not have any guilt and not know that I have to do this afterwards. So I sort of pre-bank the cardio for stuff like that.
I love it. So when it comes to like motivation for you, like what are things that motivate you?
Just improving on myself, really. Like the goals with the competition, I know like this day is coming and it's not changing no matter what. And I know every morning when that alarm goes off, if I don't want to get up, my competition is getting up. So just knowing that, wanting to improve on myself and wanting to be better than last year. If I don't put the work in, I'm not going to get it. So I'm pretty good at self-motivating myself.
Love it. What do you read books and like do you dive into learning quite a bit at all?
I do a lot of my learning online.
Okay.
I've done some traveling in the past, and I've read a lot of books. But right now, between the training, I spend a lot more of the learning online. A lot of articles and different training techniques online.
Okay, cool. And is there any techniques beside visualization that you do every day to like help you get into state or to help you feel good in the day or inspire you in the day? Is there anything that you do, ritual, like habits you do?
I don't really think I have any habits. As long as I'm, if I'm getting in the gym and getting my training done, I'm happy. That's my happy place. And
Okay.
So I like to just really, get in there and get that done. And I'm going to bed smiling every night after that.
I love it. Feeling good with veggies beside you on the tray, no Ukrainian pierogies. Awesome, Kari. Well,
you can always have something in the future. And, if there's something, I'd like that or I'd want that. It's like, I can have it I can have it down the road. It's not, I don't need it now. I'll be just fine.
You know, you never know. Maybe in like 10 years, like with like gluten-free, like carb-free pierogies.
You know, they do have gluten-free ones now, but they're just not the same.
Yeah, not quite as good as the real ones, eh?
No grandmothers make those ones.
Oh, totally. Those are all manufactured.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, guys. Well, there you guys have it. So we did come back for a second piece of Kari, and I'm sure glad that we did. So there you go, guys. We have Kari, INBF Canada, WNBF Pro Figure, heading over to the Iron Wheel Classic, headed over to the interview, guys, on YouTube and the INBF Canada fan page. And Kari, we're signing out. I'll talk to you afterwards. We're signing out basically from this interview. You want to say bye?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thanks for your time.
No problem. See you guys.